What's up guys, HCG here, welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck of the Day. Today we're profiling Advanced Crystal Beast. With the release of Crystal Revenge, we finally got an archetype that has been an anime exclusive deck for such a long time, but now we finally have these cards in the TCG as well, and to be honest, this deck is a really fun deck to play. If you're a fan of Crystal Beast, then you can give this deck a try as a more fun version of the deck. As far as viability goes, then the original Crystal Beasts are a lot better, but if you're a fan of this deck from the anime, then you can definitely give it a try for a fun deck. They're all secret rare, they're really pretty, and because of all the support that Crystal Beasts have got throughout the years and very recently as well with Structure Deck, this deck can actually function as a decent strategy that has something going for it. And it does have something niche compared to the original Crystal Beast that the original Crystal Beasts do not have, but we're going to talk about that once we get to the profile. So, before we begin with the video, if you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming content, and now let's get to the deck profile. So let's start with the monsters. We have 3 copies of Advanced Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. Now this card is basically the equivalent of Sapphire Pegasus. What it does is that on summon, it puts a Crystal Beast, an Advanced Crystal Beast from your grave, hand, deck, or even Banish Zone to your Spell and Trap Zone. The reason it says Banish Zone is because if you want to play Rainbow Dark Dragon, you have banished your monsters from the graveyard, so you can then put them back again from your Banish Zone into the Spell and Trap Zone with this card. So yeah, it's basically the same thing as Sapphire Pegasus, but there are other effects that the other Crystal Beasts have that make them not superior to the original Crystal Beast, because all these monsters need Advanced Dark on the field in order to survive, but they just make them have a little bit more utility when it comes to their own art. We have 3 copies of Cobalt Eagle. This is the card that searches Advanced Dark. By pitching it, you can search your Advanced Dark, so it's a reason to play 3 copies of it, because you need to see Advanced Dark as soon as possible, so you can keep your Crystal Beast monsters on the field, because if you don't have Advanced Dark, all these monsters blow themselves up. Now for the rest of the Crystal Beasts, we have them just as one-offs. We play 1 copy of Amber Mammoth. This is a card that protects your Advanced Crystal Beast and your Advanced Dark from targeting effects by negating them. We play 1 copy of Topaz Tiger. This card boosts all of your Advanced Crystal Beast by 400 attack defense and decreases all of your opponent's monsters stats by 400 as well. 1 copy of Amethyst Cat. She makes all of your Advanced Crystal Beast monsters being able to attack directly with half damage. 1 copy of Emerald Tortoise. As a quick effect, you can target a face-up monster on the field, change its battle position. And we also have 1 Ruby Carbuncle. Now, Ruby is the special occasion when it comes to the effects, because in the anime Ruby, even the original Ruby Carbuncle had the effect that it could special summon itself from the Spell and Trap Zone when it was there, and then bring all the Crystal Beast monsters that have in the Spell and Trap Zone. When it got printed back like so many years ago, you had to summon it with another effect. So you had to use cards like Crystal Promise or Crystal Beacon to summon it from the deck or the Spell and Trap Zone in order to use its effect. But this card right here actually got the anime effect. So when this card is in the Spell and Trap Zone, you can special summon it, and then you can special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters from your Spell and Trap Zone as possible. So you need fewer resources in order to make use of this card's effect. You don't have to use another card like Crystal Beacon to special summon it. Once you put it in there with your Pegasus, you can just summon it and then summon all of your Crystal Beast monsters in your Spell and Trap Zone. So this card can spam really easily, pretty much the same as Crystal Beast. So it does have some things going for it, but the main thing that this deck is worse than the original Crystal Beast is not just because of the fact you have to have Advanced Dark on the field in order for them to survive. It's the fact that you cannot play Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon because it's not an Advanced Crystal Beast. So we only play 1 copy of Rainbow Dark Dragon. This card is not searchable with the usual stuff you would search the Ultimate Crystals. It is searchable with the next card I'm going to show you, but you only play it as one-off, mainly to get it to the theme, because it's such a cool card not to play when you're playing Advanced Crystal Beast, and this deck is a fun deck, so I don't see any reason why you would not play an extra brick that is really for the theme. So what this card does is that you need to banish 7 dark monsters with different names from grave, and you can banish all other dark monsters from your field and your graveyard, and this card gains 500 attack each card banished this way. So it's a beater that can end games. It's an Ultimate Crystal monster, so you can use it to use the fusion monsters from the extra deck. So yeah, it's a decent card. It's not nearly as good as the original Rainbow Dragon in the Crystal Beast deck, because you cannot play, unfortunately, Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon to give you a special summon and a search as well. But again, we have to play with what we got, so yeah, we're only playing 1 copy. And the last monster in the deck is the 3 copies of Crystal Master. Now, this is a card that you can use to basically not only search your Rainbow Dark Dragon, but you can tribute it to search either an Ultimate Crystal monster, a Crystal Beast monster, or a Crystal Spell and Trap. And the reason this card works is because we do have a card now that lets us get an additional normal summon. So we don't really mind if you use the normal summon for this card, because we can use the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart to get an extra normal summon for a Crystal Beast monster, so we can then summon our Sapphire Pegasus this way. So yeah, this card is better because of the new support that we got. Now let's go into the spells. First, we have 2 copies of Advanced Dark. Now, Advanced Dark, even though it's really important for the strategy, maxing it out can lead to a lot of bricky hands, and you do have so many ways of searching your Cobalt Eagle, which is then going to search your Advanced Dark. So playing 2 is perfectly fine. And what this card does is that makes all your Crystal Beast monsters on the field and in the graveyard become dark. So this does not only fuel your Rainbow Dark Dragon, but it also makes for some really dark plays, the Dark Charmer, which you do not have easy access to in the original Crystal Beast deck because none of them are our original Dark. Because of this card, we use that. It also has an effect that if you have an ultimate crystal monster attack, then you negate the effects of all of the attack target during battle phase. And during the damage calc, if your crystal beast monster battles and you would take damage from that battle, you can send a crystal beast monster from your deck grave so you avoid the damage. So it can fill the graveyard with one monster as well to be able to summon Rainbow Dark Dragon more easily. Now for the generic support, we do play 3 Crystal Bond. This is pretty standard. You search a Crystal Beast and then you place a Crystal Beast monster with a different name from your deck in your spell and trap zone. 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge, adding any crystal spell and trap, not once per turn. 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This is a card that gives you not only an additional normal summon, but can destroy a Crystal Beast monster from your hand or you control to add a crystal spell and trap from your deck to your hand. And if Crystal Beast monster is placed in your spell and trap zone, except during the damage step, even during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls and you return both that card and this card to the hand. So if you use this card during your opponent's turn, when they destroy your monsters, you can use it as disruption. So it's a card that your opponent has to think about twice when they try to destroy your monsters because they know they're going to get some banished if they don't deal with this card first. We play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Now, this is a fun deck, so you don't really have to play a card like this if you don't have the budget for it, but because it is a fun deck, we do need some consistency in order to make it work more well. So if you have access to the card, you can play it. If you don't have access to the card, it doesn't really matter. You can play some other cards instead. You can play Hunt Trap, you can play Going Second cards. It doesn't really matter. When you're playing a casual deck, you do not have to put the money cards in. You know that you're not going to be able to win against really good decks, even when you put these cards in the deck. So yeah, I'm just playing them because I have them, but if you don't have them, that's fine. You can play something else. We play 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. This card is here because of the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, because this card not only is going to search you your Advanced Dark, which is super important for the deck, but it's also going to search you a Crystal Beast as well. So yeah, this is another reason why this deck doesn't do as well as the original Crystal Beast deck. It's because you do have to have Advanced Dark on the field in order for you to be able to play, but getting access to a field spell is one of the best traits for Crystal Beast because they can search Salvation, they can search other Mystic Mind for going second, they can search Necro Valley for going first. So unfortunately, this deck cannot do that because in order to play, you do have to have a cert field, which is very unfortunate, but again, we do have to play with what we got. And we do play 1 cop Called by the Grave as well. And for the trap cards, we are maxing out on the Disruption. We're playing 3 copy of Crystal Conclave. This is a card that bounces and it also floats your Crystal Beast monsters. We play 3 copy of Crystal Miracle. This is the Infernity Barrier of the deck. And we play 1 copy of Bridge of Salvation to combo 8 Foolish Burial Goods to get us 2 searches. For the extra deck, we play 1 copy of Rainbow Over Dragon. Fortunately, we can still somewhat summon Rainbow Dark Dragon in the deck, not nearly as consistently as an original Crystal Beast, but it can still happen. So we do play these cards in the extra deck just for that case. And we also play the Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, again for the same exact reason. For the scenarios that you do summon your Rainbow Dark Dragon, these have to be in your extra deck just to can go for the push. We do play a lot of rank 4s in the deck because we all know that Crystal Beasts are a rank 4 spam deck in a lot of ways, and this deck is even easier to summon rank 4s because again, Ruby's effect to special summon itself on its own when it's in a spell and trap zone, and you do play multiple copies of Cobalt Eagle because it searches the field spell, so you can put them the others in a spell and trap zone with cards like Crystal Bond and Sapphire Pegasus, so you can summon even 2 rank 4s with 1 resolution. So we do play 1 copy of Abyss Dweller because it's broken against the Sisu tier and pretty much any grave based, 1 copy of Baguska so you can stall against some other decks, 1 copy of Tornado Dragon to help us deal with back row, and we do play the Zodiac Zeus pack as we play 1 copy of Chakanine, which is then you're going to overlay your 1 copy of Borbo on top of her, attack directly, and then you can summon your 1 copy of Sky Thunder Zeus on top of your Borbo so you can get a double interruption. And for the Link monsters, we do play 1 copy of Cross Ship. Because of the fusion monsters you can sometimes summon, when you can summon them with your Rainbow Dark Dragon, you can go into some really big plays by going into rank 4, into Link 4 monsters on top of your fusion monsters, and because Pegasus puts your monsters back in your spell and trap zone banish zone, and because Advanced Dark also mills monsters from the deck, you're never going to run out of Crystal Beasts. Even though you're going to be sending them to the banish zone with your Rainbow Dark Dragon, you're still going to have some in your graveyard, and even if you don't, you can use Pegasus' effect to put them back in the spell and trap zone, and then use Ruby's effect to special summon it, and then you can link them away in the grave. So it's not like Cross Ship is not going to have any targets after you summon your Rainbow Dark Dragon. You have ways to put them back into the grave. We play Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This is a card that you can summon very easily in Advanced Crystal Beam specifically, because again, your field spell turns all of your monsters on the field and your graveyard into dark monsters, and we all know how powerful this card is with all the generic dark monsters that exist out there. We do play 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus to pop monsters, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix to pop back row, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn to link climb, and for the Link 4s, you do summon these when you go into your big Ruby Carbuncle plays or your Crossy plays. We do play 1 copy of Appaloosa to get more interruptions, and 1 copy of Access Code Talker to seal out games. So yep, that's the deck, guys. Advanced Crystal Beasts, they're really fun. They are very similar to the original Crystal Beast, but they do function in kind of a different way depending on how you use the deck. You can make it more control based, you can make it even more combo based by using more copies of them, but I feel like 1 copy of the ones that don't have to search other ones, they're pretty good enough because you can always recycle them Pegasus. So this build here I've been having a lot of fun with. If you have any other suggestions that make this deck a little bit better, then by all means comment down below, because it's a deck I enjoy a lot, so I would like it to make it better if possible. So yeah, unfortunately, Crystal Beasts are the deck that we're going to keep playing if we want to play the deck as more of a viable competitive option, but if we want to have some fun, one, then we're going to go for this deck because it's very similar, but then again, it's very different as well. So yep, that's the deck, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming content, and we'll see you next time.